Hey there! Bob from Wisconsin Irish Viewer Questions 18? Might be 18. I think it's 18.
That's your job.
Your
job is to number things.
It's pretty much 18. Well, you know, we're at show 830, but we've got like 600 shows, so something got messed up.
Somewhere there was a calculation issue there.
Well, we had seasons for a while, so there was a little bit there. We lost like 60 shows there, and then we've taken some down because of
friendships
dissolving.
Things happen, life goes on, true colors are shed.
Yes.
When
things fall apart, center can't hold, all that, yep.
Well, you definitely learn to pull the coattails in a little tighter, and some things fall off every once in a while.
We're just gonna have news.
Which takes us to the question.
Takes us to the questions.
Yeah, that video's gone.
So we'll get that one. We'll get to it in good time. So Matt Howard, this isn't really a question. I just wanted to read it. It said, "Great clip, man," and this is about the using Bloom Chaos with autoflowers. He says, "Great clip. I just harvested my autos, and let me tell you, the weight they put on from using Chaos is ridiculous. Definitely recommend it." So I've been doing a couple shows about the autoflowers that, well, they are fundamentally different. They are also kind of grow the same, you know, as far as it's the same process. It's just you have less control over it.
Oh, well, it's not even that you have less control, you just have a timeline now.
Yes.
Like I crack the seed, and in this many days it'll be done, no matter what. So now you have to figure out all the things you want to do in that time frame.
So it's just more of a planning issue than a...
Yeah, and I think with a lot of nutrition lines out there, a lot of people reach out, hey, I need that Autoflower schedule, and it's like,
it's the schedule.
Yeah, I mean, I send you, and this is one of the very few times I actually send out an auto response because I've had to answer this so many times. So I just have a paragraph that's like, and only because of the feedback's been so huge is, I just follow the regular schedule I normally do. I start them at half strength and I push them until I get them to full strength, and then I just maintain that the rest of the run.
Yeah.
And so I think for the most part, it's, I never understood the half on autoflowers. They have a predetermined amount of time they're going to stack on this much weight.
Yeah.
I think they just want to eat. I mean, they're constant. They run under 20 hours of light, or 20. Some guys just do 24/7. But if you can imagine just pumping 20 hours a day and you're being fed half the nutrition, it seems like it would stress out the plant pretty strong or pretty quickly. So I think the guys that find that feeding them full strength or recipe, even the regular Greek and Roman recipes, they're crushing these autos because the plants demand that much nutrition anyway, and they're offering it all to them, and their yields are going up. So
with the autos, I don't have to worry about the light and dark cycles, and so instead of having a light and dark cycle, I just keep it light almost all the time.
That's what they do, yeah. I would always give everything rest. I mean, nothing likes to go 24/7. So, I mean, if you're doing a 20 on, 4 off, give them that 4 hours of energy to grow and breathe and kind of cycle through, you get all your growth. I mean, 20 hours of energy storage gives you a ton of growth. So
it's a way to give it more light without having a bigger light kind of thing, because you're just doing it more.
Well, and just not having to worry about transitioning from... Because a photo plant, you're 18 to 20 hours on, 4 to 6 hours off on your night cycle, and then when you want them to flower, you just hit them at 12. And that shock of the reduction of light triggers their flowering response. So, you can veg a plant for... most plants, 9-10 months, they'll never show a sign of flowering.
Right.
As soon as you reduce their hours, they instantly go into reproduction and put on fruit.
So you're kind of limited in how much light you can give to your standard plant versus an autoflower because of getting it to bloom.
Oh, yeah. You can't just keep running them 20 hours on. They'll just never go into flower, or they'll just stress out and start throwing herms and stuff. So you can stress out plants that way, but... Yeah, it's interesting. Everybody wants us to produce and print and make an auto schedule. I'm just so reluctant because it's not a cookie cutter. Yeah. So, we're being very careful on how we want to produce the feeding schedule for an auto.
And it might be largely just the feeding schedule. Yeah.
I mean, I may just go, oh, you want the auto one? Here, just cut this in half and then get to full eventually. I mean, we'll see.
So, but you're giving that plant more light from the start. So the half to full is just a convention to be safe with everything you do, right?
Say, for any plant you get, you probably should start at half strength, especially new genetics. Start at half. slowly increase it until you find that plant's echelon and then hammer them.
But next time around, and any plant you're going to be giving it more as you go because it's
mature.
Smaller and it's getting bigger.
It's a baby food jar or it's a big Mamba meal soup can. What is that? Mamwich.
No, it's Mamwich was the
well, that's Sloppy Joe's.
That was the bigger Sloppy Joe. Hungry Man dinner.
There you go. It's a Hungry Man can of soup versus a blended apple for your granddaughter.
Okay. I got a picture, sure. Actually, she was on the show. I don't need to show a picture. Did you see the show she was on?
Man, did you have her sign off on that?
No, she's a baby.
Oh, we can just do that to children?
I bought her a case of formula, but with the shortage and all, she can just be on the goddamn show.
So that's what we do.
That's
pay
what we do.
By the formula.
Pay with the formula.
So many formulas will it take to have you on the show today?
Cassidy Nicardo. Cassidy Nacarado? Nasarato? What do you think?
Nakarato?
We don't know. Let us know in the comments.
Cassidy.
I just fed yesterday.
So they'll just spell it again. Yeah, it's this.
Give me some phonetic with it, maybe would be helpful, Cassidy, if you can. I would appreciate it.
We just lost a user.
Should stick with us through that. I hope.
We'll see.
I'm sorry if I offended.
No offense.
Right. I just fed yesterday with mid-veg regimen, but slurry is coming back around ppm around 500 and 7-ish. I assume that's the pH.
Yeah.
Can I flush with the number 2 corrective flush, or should I wait? I don't know what's the number 2 corrective? We don't know what that is, or do we?
It's probably in the Nectar Bible.
Oh.
One of the guys.
I've never read the Bible. It's contradictory in the first paragraph, and I just can't get through it. Oh, wait, no. That's a different Bible.
Yeah, that's your problem, not mine. Enjoy that trip. Let me see if I can pull that up. Let's go on to the next question, and then I'll find out what flush number 2 is.
Well, this is the other one. Trip Soup. Hey, Bob. I can't find the video on how to recycle my number 4 soil. I already have the Bokashi Earthshine EWC one-shot, but the video is gone. It looks to be, I think, Tim McCormick did the video. Maybe you guys could do a new one so we can see how the recycling of your number 4. Yes, I took it down. We've kind of come to a thing of like that you just put some one-shot in there.
Well, we've come up with a new mode and a new model that keeps it a little bit more simplified and not so redundant. And so, and with our new microbes coming out, we feel that with the azos that we're going to be producing with the bacillus strains, our friendships with the microbe life people and SLF, the one shot and the Bokashi and worm casting will come up with a new video soon. Yeah. That will kind of help produce that new recycled soil. We're just kind of fine tuning our offerings of, we want to make sure everybody's on the same page and be able to get the products consistently in the future. I also felt, and maybe this was just me, that the Bokashi and the biochar and some of these things, that what they were doing may not be what we thought they were doing, and there was some, do we really know what's going on here when we're putting those in the soil? Yeah. Well, and, not all of us signed off on that recycling video. Yes. So, it's time that we're going to revisit that with more of a Frank and Scott's model of how to recycle the number 4, more with nectar products that are actually aligned with the calcium delivery. That isn't a calcium chloride, that isn't a calcium. I mean, we want to stay with the natural forms of calcium in this new recycling mode. It was my fault somewhat. I'm like, shut up. That's back in the good old days. That was the Green Room Live days. And those are some epic days. Yes. I mean, we had the fanboy following for miles for freebies those days. But now with the new, with Chimera, and I mean, there's so many new variables that we've learned with alkalinity, with calcium, with pH, with different water sources. We want to make sure that this new recycling program actually kind of addresses those issues to make sure you're not just using the one that we put up there, because that's not a good model for every single. It's not a bad model, but it's not great for everyone. And the guys that were having problems with it were pissed because I followed your video and this is what happened. It's like, well, like everything else, it's not a cookie cutter situation for everyone. So the next video will be a little bit clearer on if you have this issue, we want you to use this amendment. If you have this issue in this last grow, we want you to use this amendment, and kind of, massage it to where we can recycle soils individually with each grower versus here's how you recycle soils for everybody, because it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Well, I think also with the high cost of shipping and it only getting worse, that your soil needs to be an investment, not something you consume.
It really should be, and and the soil's just going to get more and more expensive. So, I mean, that's a real issue that's coming, folks. So, pay attention and buy your soil, and then definitely buy your inputs.
The soil's artificially low. I mean, it seems like it's high, but the soil is artificially low in price because everyone's been trying to eat that huge shipping cost that keeps just hammering away at it.
Can't anymore.
That's
over.
Yeah, so you kind of have to buy it and make it last.
Better. But yeah, we'll this spring we will get on a recycling video and get a new one up there so everybody can look at it.
Exciting.
I can't get the files to download on the Facebook group or the.
I'm having trouble with Facebook too. Well, let's just approach this as a flush. She's doing mid-veg and she's got 500.
Yeah, that's
PPM
not scary yet.
And 7-ish. So
the 7 is what I would do is just do your next 2 feedings at 6.61 to saturation, but not a ton of runoff. You kind of want to have it get in the soil in the root zone with that 6.61 pH, and let that those organic acids kind of start buffering down that pH in the soil. What I would like Cassidy,
yeah.
What I'd like her to do is reach out to me at thebeard@organsonly.com. I've got questions about your water source. I want to know, what the pH of that water is out of the tap. Because if you're always alkaline or you're always high pH water, we're going to want to address this so you're not always fighting to bring your pH down, which is, our common problem, bringing it back up. I do have a handful of growers that have continuously high pH because of their water source.
I got you.
So there are tricks. We can definitely get it down. Once I hear from Cassidy, we can kind of mill out what's going on.
Okay.
Then we can revisit this on another episode to talk about what we did with Cassidy, and then see if we can't get her to jump on there or him.
Okay. If I was looking at it, I think it's a lady. I think I saw
but then we can kind of see what happened at that grow, and because right now I've got a guy, same situation in Maine, super high pH water, and we were able to fix that situation with Alaskan humus. Basically, that one product we put in our number 4 mix, that's the life and organisms, and it's an Alaskan humate. You can buy it in a bag just from I think it's Hum Tea or Alaskan humus. Top dressing with that because it's got organic acids that continuously leach in, but it's not very acidic. But it keeps your pH from spiking. Instead, it just kind of buffers it in the mid-60s.
Okay.
Alaskan humus or Hum Tea, both of those are great Alaskan humate products that will kind of help battle that high pH in the soil if it's chronic.
If I was seeing 500s mid-veg, but I was 6-ish, not 7-ish on my pH, would I be worried?
If you saw 5.7?
Well, yeah, I mean, if I was in the 6s, my pH is solid, but I'm seeing 500 ppm.
No, the 500 ppm, that's just
you wouldn't bump up though.
Give it tomorrow and find. No, you're not. They're not starving, then they're not overfed. That's literally the higher end of fully acceptable. 350, 550, those are great ranges.
Is 500 the new 300?
No, depends. For LEDs, sure. That is the new 300.
Okay.
But for most people, I'm finding that 350, 550, your plants are super healthy. They're super happy. They're eating 2,200 parts per million.
Okay.
So that the ppms don't scare me, but the 7.0 is going to be a problem. Mid-veg, they're not getting a lot of nitrogen. She's probably seeing some yellowing on the tops. All that can be fixed with a couple 6.1 feedings.
Okay.
But let's find out what's going on with your water so we can then make sure. Like when you get in a flower, you're going to be super happy because that higher pH is going to drive calcium phosphate in. But for now, they're probably a little slow to grow, probably a little bit limey green. They probably don't have a ton of vigor, and it's because the nitrogen's not nearly available at 7.
Do you think she's talking about a Gaia flush when she says the number 2
it could
flush?
Be the Gaia flush.
That's the flush?
Yeah, if that's it, then yes. If not, then disregard.
Okay.
Move on to 3 if 3 is. But if 3's not, then don't do that. Just skip to 4.
Okay, Diamond Sky. What do y'all use for pest and animal control on your outdoor grows near Michigan? It's going to be my first season out this way and looking for any tips. You Michigan boy, you must know. What kind of critters you get out there? You get wolverines out there?
UP.
Yeah?
Up north there is, not down in the lower mitten. You know, deer is their biggest problem. I'm sure that's one of the biggest issues there.
That's physical barriers, right? I mean, there's nothing you can do with that.
It's dogs, it's urine, it's blood bags. I mean,
okay.
We used to soak blood meal in a nylon. Just like give it a good soak and hang it on trees around the grow. They don't like the smell of that kind of death.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's if it's like you're talking about bug pressures and pest pressures in that realm. You know, I hate to say it, but I'd go talk to your local garden center.
Yeah.
You know, I hate making claims on pesticides and
yeah.
fungicides because it's just not a safe place to be.
No. Well, I think some stuff works better other places, and they're like, they may love this thing in Michigan and out in Oregon. Different climate. They're like, oh, that stuff's crap.
And everybody, and who knows? You may have a superbug from the West Coast that's now on the East Coast, and we know it doesn't work here. So, I would talk to your local grow shop if it's deer and stuff like that. You know, it's big dogs, blood bags, urine, pee everywhere you can outside. You know,
all right,
the best bet. But no, it's a tough one. Pests suck everywhere.
Okay, the soup. Hey, Bob.
No help at all in that last one.
Wait a minute. This is the same. This is the question I just asked about the number 4 thing. All right. Cloudy with a chance of amber. Hey, awesome show, Bob. So, well, this is the one. See, can't find the video on number 4. So.
Oh yeah, no. So this one, see that one, that one, and that one. They're virtually the exact same questions.
So we're just going to do this one, right?
Yeah, because this one kind of wrapped up everything in.
I understand. How did I?
I don't know, but
incompetence is the only answer I can think of why that's like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember dropping that in.
Make sure to hit the like and the subscribe button and join us on the next episode of We Don't Know What the Hell We're Doing.
Bob may or may not be joining us on this episode.
So here's another question I just read.
Awesome show, Bob. How does this apply when using organic nutrients and nectar? I'm using mostly the Green Grow organic line with no synthetic nutrients. I still feed nectar Gaia Mania, Kraken, Demeters, Herculean through veg, then Demeters, Aphrodites, and Herculean through flower, right alongside the green aminos, bricks, and flower finisher from the Green Grow. Still following the Bible and same soil pH 6.2 to 6.8. The Herculean flush seems to keep things in rhythm. Thanks again for the show and endless explanations.
So, I mean, and with that, you can kind of look at the other 2 questions because he kind of dives a little deeper. Because he runs some of the bottles, some one-shot, the Green Grow stuff.
So he's using the Green Grow like you might use the one-shot.
When he's using the one-shot like you would use the one-shot.
Okay.
In one shot. So
what's the question?
Well, I think because he's using a separate line from Green Grow, which is
good stuff,
great product. Using some of our bottles with some of those organic meals being blended like that, will there be a bad effect? Is there something he should maybe look out for, keep his eye on? All in all, your plants are probably looking great. I mean, the Green Grow has a wonderful product line of microbial-based meal amendments. I mean, he does all these different blends, and they have a bacterial and a fungal base in them, so they're bioactive and ready to go out of the package. So
this is like a modulated super soil.
It is, and I think because didn't you say he's using their soil?
Green Grow Pride Lands Organic Vegetable Bricks.
No, just their
I don't know what's up. And he's doing some of his own microbials, and he's using the Bigfoot too.
Yeah, so Bigfoot, Photoplus, SLF.
Yeah.
So I mean, everything you're doing is badass. So basically how I see it is using one shot as his base amendment in his soil. The Pride Lands are awesome regularly top dressed, soluble top dresses. So, and then he's using the bottles to supplement and give extra energy. Yeah, I have no comment to this being a bad idea or it not being effective, because the things you're adding from the nectar line, other than the one shot, which is just a full spectrum feed, but you're using all the liquid available calcium sources from us while you're using all of his nitrogens, proteins, amino acids, and microbes from them, I mean, it's going to work, and the marriage will be beautiful in the soil.
So the question, I think I figured out the question.
All right.
Does he still use a Herculean Harvest flush? So he says, I'm going to start over. What's up, Bob? This is all over the place. Long time since I asked a question. My question, does Herculean Harvest flush still work with everything else in the mix? I see a difference when I use it as a preventative flush. Calm, smooth, grows with no pH issues or swings.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing, because even though you've got all this stuff built in there, you're top dressing these Pride Land products regularly, so you're continuously adding excess. I mean, organics aren't salt-based, but they generate salt numbers in a sense, where as they're breaking down, they become an EC in the soil. So if that EC builds up and the plant starts accessing too much of that ppm, they just stop taking in the nutrition. So the Herculean preventative flush, why you see that oomph, that vigor, that boost, is because you're taking the residual leftover the plant just didn't want. You kind of flush that past the absorbing root zone, and then they start accessing the aminos and all the rest of the nutrition from those meals, and they just start thriving again. So as far as, if you're going to try to flush this down to 100 parts per million every time before you go to feed, don't do that when you're amending your soils and using Herculean. You're using Herculean as a preventative every couple of weeks to make sure you don't have a salt buildup.
Okay.
And it helps at maturing still, at ripening, because you're still offering that calcium load in the end of flowering cycle to help develop denser fruit at the end. So, you're not going to do corrective flushes the same way you would with an inert soil and the full bottle line, because with a corrective flush there, your parts per million are 200.
Yeah.
Well, you want them to be 200 to 500, and you're at 900 in the soil. Well, we know that extra 700 is because there's something built up and the plants are blocked. So we need to flush that out with the Herc. That reduces those numbers, and the plant starts accessing the bottle feed again. But when you mix all this crap into a bag of soil, you're already at 1,200 parts per million.
Okay.
So if you try to flush that down, that's pointless, because
you're just throwing it away.
Yeah, you're flushing out what you built. So, and I think there's a question coming up that I kind of grazed over that comes up to a 1,200 parts per million new soil question.
Okay.
But for what you're doing, the preventatives, I mean, look at it as a B12 shot. We get to the end of 2 weeks and everyone's kind of run down because the excess is built up around the root zone. Hit them really fast with a little bit of Herc water, and man, it just cleanses that root tip. They can start accessing more nutrition, and you should see that continuous vigor every time you do a preventative.
Okay.
But everything else you're doing is fantastic, and Mark's got some great products, and he stinks, but he doesn't stink. I don't know. I don't have a sense of smell. But that's why we use his mycorrhiza in our potting soils, and that's why we're working with him on bacteria and fungi, because they kind of know what they're doing and they make their own. It's very rare to find a company that makes their own microbes in this industry, and when you find one who's willing to work with you, then we've decided to brand up with them. And
I would also say, while he is certainly an expert and certainly understands the science of it, he hasn't fallen into his own ass about what he's doing, and the magic of it, or the we've discovered something. He's still learning. He's still open about the process.
Yeah, and understands the sun is the sun, and there's nothing new under it. So anything that we're pretending is brand new under the sun is just being brought to light is all.
Okay. Stelios Messialitis. That's the best I can do. I'm sorry. Currently, I am in seedling stage in a solo cup. First question, should I feed them Zeus and Medusa yet? Second question, let's just do the first one, because the second one's the one you were talking about.
So with seedlings, I mean, if they're in a decent potting soil, like number 4, that has a mild nutritional value, I don't touch them until they got 3 sets of leaves. Once they got, so not just the cotyledon leaves, but you get the first set, and then you get a nice set, and then the third set.
Right.
Once they hit third set,
then some leaves, then some leaves.
The popping open isn't a set of leaves yet. That's the inside of the shell.
Yeah, okay.
So the first little 2 leaves, that's one. They'll grow and you'll get a nice little set. But when that third one comes out and they develop,
they're like real leaves at this point.
They look like they're 3 lobes, everything's ready. Then you start doing, and I would, then follow the seedling version of the feeding schedule. Even if you're only using Zeus and Medusa, I mean, we're talking half teaspoons per gallon, or go very light. Okay. I like to foliar feed until they get 3 to 4 inches tall with a handful of leaves.
Okay. Second question. My soil that I'm going to transplant them into is about 1200 ppm. Should I flush it down or transplant them when they are older? So he's going into some hot soil.
So
what would you?
Two methods. Either three things. A, why is it hot? Is it hot intentionally, or is it a bad recycling job?
Okay.
Because if it's a bad recycling job, I'd want to know what that 1200. If that's all nitrates, then throw it away or cut it in half.
Yeah.
But let's say it's intentional, super soil amended. I've put it in my subcool recipe. Blah blah blah.
Right. Okay.
The first recommendation I do is say, hey, get a bag of cocoa fiber. And let's say you put them in a 5-gallon pot. I take 1/2 gallon in the middle and put just cocoa in there.
Okay.
Transplant into the completely inert cocoa. That gives the plants a week or so to acclimate into that, and then they start tapping it to the 1200.
Okay.
And if it's too hot, they'll back out until that water kind of reduces it. If it's just right, they'll dive in, and then you'll see literally an explosive of growth. I mean, they'll explode in days from touching that 1200. But creating that little buffer pad between the little tiny seedling and going into 1200 parts per million, you'll see them acclimate a lot faster that way.
Okay. Good answer. Good answer.
Or wait till they're much larger in a 1-gallon pot and then put them in when they're more mature, but you're still going to see a transplant shock when those fresh, naked roots hit 1200 parts per million right at the first couple of days, because they have to react to that.
Okay.
So I always build in a buffer when I transplant. Even if I'm taking cells and I'm putting them in beds, I put a cocoa vein down, so when those roots are kind of getting out of their little tiny transplant pots and they start diving into the earth, they can kind of navigate through the mild stuff and then kind of test the waters before they just burn their root tips.
Okay. So you got this little guy. Then you got this guy that's actually a plant.
Yeah.
Then you got this guy that's like really getting going. When are you transplanting? This little guy?
Even if I do this big, I'm just transplanting it into
cocoa.
Pure cocoa.
You would if you're doing this guy, it's always into something like
or
that.
Or something, even the bag of soil that you amended. So let's say you amended a whole bag of soil and you left a gallon aside of the natural soil. Planting that in the pot of that.
Because even if it's this guy and he's got this, he's still going to be shocked.
1200 parts per million is, it's like coming out of winter and it's 95 degrees in April and you're like, it's very much the same. You get mad, you sit back and you're like, I hate sun, and the rain sucks too. So, acclimate them in or put them in a buffer pot of more inert medium.
Okay. Crazy Killer 47. He avoided the temptation to go Crazy Killer. He put Crazy Killer 47. The whole thing. I like
Killer.
Crazy Killer. See, we're making fun of the names, and I don't think that's good for business.
No, again, probably loses viewership. But it's badass.
It is badass. I wasn't really making fun of it.
No, it wasn't a mock.
Respect. Yeah. I live in the UK.
Respect.
And most U.S. retailers don't even offer international shipping.
No, it's in the UK. We don't even have to worry about hurting feelings.
Limey bastard.
Yeah, your stupid country doesn't like mad cows, so we can't even send crap there.
Yeah, we've got a cow problem. They don't like it.
And we don't have a cow problem. They have the cow problem.
They have the cow problem?
And then they fed sheep to cows, and then they implanted a cow here and said, you guys have it. And we're like, wait, we've never even had it. Canada had it. The UK had it. And then we're the ones blamed for it. So
this sounds like a conspiracy theory.
Very much. Well, since I buy more bone meal than most people in this country, I can tell you to fuck off.
So this is a conspiracy, not a conspiracy theory.
No, this is straight up a go screw yourself because they don't want American ag products there. Now, these are the same people that don't let Monsanto put GMO wheat in their country. So they're not dumb. They don't trust America is what he's saying.
Well, that's a solid policy.
No, and rightfully so. However, we've
Ask any bison. He will tell you, do not trust those people.
Yeah, well, you can't. They're dead. That's the Indians. They had to eat their freaking food. Hey, you guys, I'm done. Stop. Go over here. Go on. Jack, beat it. Go on. Go over there. It's a registration issue, and it's, we went on to porcine to get pork bone for that reason alone, and then it comes down to Registrations are a fortune right now. A shipping container to go to heading east is next to impossible.
Yeah.
So it's on hold right now. It's it's a global issue right now. So we really started working on a European label, a European bottle, and European ingredients, and then COVID hit, and the world said, "Hey, we don't want anything from anybody."
Yeah. So it's
been 2 years in the making of doing nothing. We're trying, and we do want to expand the market. Believe me, this market is its own entity, but we know there's a huge following in Italy, in the UK, in Africa. I got guys in Cambodia who are running our stuff, but they buy it from friends in California who then ship it over to them via what is it, the yellow one? DLS.
DHL.
DLS. What's that?
Gray market. DHL? I don't know.
Whatever.
I couldn't think of anything funny to say.
Department of Human Labor? Anyway. So we're trying.
Bandit 420.
Sorry for bashing your company. Or your country.
It seems like a fine enough country to me. I don't know. All right. Bandit 420. Can I... Bandit.
Oh,
Bandit. Call him the Bandit.
Only if he drives a Firebird.
This is Trans Am, but yeah.
Trans Am.
Son, you're looking at a living legend. Daddy, an out of work bum and a legend look a lot alike, Daddy. Okay, I got a little more.
Bandit quotes.
What he's like, I'm in high-speed pursuit. And then the sheriff's like, that's not germane to the situation. The goddamn Germans got nothing to do with it. They're funnier to me than everyone else. I'm going to stop. Bandit 420. Can I use one?
I don't think our average
has ever seen the movie.
Bandit. So
I've not seen the greatest movie ever made.
Well, Cannonball Run would give it a run on that.
Roadhouse is a pretty good movie.
Oh, no. See, you're going the wrong way.
Yeah. I mean, but as far as like car movies...
Roadhouse doesn't even it's not even a car movie.
It's kind of a car movie.
No, he has one cool car. In the parking lot gets smashed out, and that's it.
Well, no, he's got
he's got the one in the barn.
It's a 500 SEC or something.
Yeah, but I'd take his...
There's I would too. Regal?
No, the first one.
Riviera. It's Buick Riviera.
No, it was a Cougar with the headlights that go down.
They got the flippy headlights. No, they're the sideways flippy ones. Riviera. It's a Buick Riviera. There's also Bigfoot in that same movie.
Oh, yeah. Well, from the guy across the pond.
Yeah, that asshole.
And he drove what? Is that a Mercedes too? The red one that he's driving down the...
Oh, he had an SL. Like a 350 SL, 500 SL.
Yeah, not as cool as
Patrick
Swayze's car.
No. Life could be a dream, sweetheart.
There you go.
I think we've lost track of the thing.
Well, now we're just doing movie quotes.
It's got the headlights. They kind of flip open. They're vertical ones.
63 Riviera.
Yep.
Like used cars in the movie. That there price is too fucking high.
Jeez, that's a good one. What's a great movie is King of the Mountain. Harry Hamlin and the guy from Easy Rider.
Yep.
Either racing street racers in L.A. Great movie. Can I use one shot?
So here on the ticker does this.
There is no one watching right now.
Okay, so now we're giving away a free hoodie.
That's a great idea.
Right now, so if you email me the timestamp that this moment is here, I'm going to pick 2 free hoodies.
Free hoodies. That's to 2 separate people.
2 separate people.
We'll figure the timestamp. Well, they're not going to. They're going to know the timestamp because we won't know until
we won't know until it's done. So we'll know. Bob will tell me when this hit, and then I'll have those 2. Excuse me. And then what was the smell of that? No, is that messy?
Get some grapefruit off that.
No, my gosh! I promise you no.
That's funny. What's our walks with him, then licks his ear.
He does not like that.
Okay, can I use one shot with the Greek regimen, or is it too much?
No, absolutely. Actually, we call it the
There's not too much one shot, right?
No, I mean, I think if you really pounded one shot in, you might want to use a lot less Greek formula. But I think at the end of the day, if you follow the 2 tablespoons per gallon and you run the regular Greek, you'll be absolutely fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I think if you start hitting Roman, I'd probably back off Roman at least 20%, 25%, okay. And then get them back to full by the time you're in mid-flower. Because the nice thing that we see with one shot is anybody who adds it in always comes back with, that should just be how it is. Because I never hit low PMs, I never hit a high pH, and my plants are constantly eating.
It's a buffer.
It is reserves.
And it does not,
burn.
In reasonable circumstances, overfeed your plants.
It's very, very, very hard.
Yeah, you would if you're overfeeding them. You're overfeeding them with the bottles.
Exactly.
Not with,
yeah. So anytime you do a heavy one-shot application, just start by introducing the bottles much lighter and slowly increase it. Plants will acclimate as long as you don't go from 0 to 60 in a second. You have to get there. So once you're there, then they're going to demand that they always have it. So once they start eating at that level, you can't force the plant to eat at this level and then take it away because they'll be like, all right, I'm going to shut down.
Done.
So when you're ramping up like that, you kind of got to maintain it until you're ready to put the plant down.
Okay. Oklahoma accountability. We have been having slight issues with a few plants going into shock and dying when flipped to flower.
That's not good.
That's not funny. No. I tried to flush them with Herc and Aphrodite, but no luck. My leading theory is the plants weren't super healthy to begin with. Thoughts?
Well, that's a good starting theory, but
if it died, it was not healthy.
Yeah, something happened, but I'd like to, that would be an investigation via thebeard@organsonly.com. Tons of questions back and forth. Would like to know more. Would love to help you prevent more killing of plants. If you're getting clones, good chance you're probably getting a non-healthy something from somebody, and if that's what you're relying on, that could be it. But too much. I mean, my thoughts are let's talk and find out. Not much I can answer to that until I know a lot more.
So, and we're not talking about when they have flowers. We're talking about just you flip 2 flowers.
Yeah, it looks like he goes from veg cycle to bloom cycle, and the plants are like, nope. I wonder if maybe somebody gave you all autos, and you went from 20 hours to 12, and they're like, oh, we got enough energy, we're going to die. So it might be just genetics, but
goodbye,
world. I'm supposed to be under 20. Fuck, give me 8. So let's investigate that a little bit more. Okay. I'd like to know more, but I can't attest to that right
now. Mark Johnson, where can I get the best genetics? I got Crop King's Fruit Loops and Banana Sundae and Gelato. So, if you're just airdropped into Kentucky or something, you don't know anything, and you got to get are there any rules of thumb for finding good genetics?
I mean,
you gotta trust the guy you're working with.
Yeah, you really have to just either trust a friend who knows the guy or trust the guy. And, I've been in this game 26, 27 years. And, I mean, I only know of 2 breeders that I know.
Yeah.
They only have 4 genetics between them. And then, I've seen a lot of great genetics, I mean, from all different types of breeders. Yeah. It's tough, though, because usually you're getting them and you're still doing an F1 hunt for them.
Yeah.
So the genetics seem good by their catalog or by their website.
Yeah.
But you still have to go on the hunt yourself to go find it unless you're getting, clone-only genetics.
So if I can't tell if I don't know if I'm getting good genetics, how do I tell if it's a good genetic early on before I've wasted a lot of time in it?
What's a good beer?
Yeah, but you can taste the beer.
I know, but I know guys who, if you gave them the nicest Ninkasi, they'd spit in your face and go back to a Pabst because that's the good beer to them.
Sure.
Good beer isn't a price tag. Good beer and good weed isn't the breeder, isn't it? It's how does it make you feel? How does it taste? How does it grow? How does it affect you? How does it affect your patient?
Sure.
You're asking really the wrong guy. I prefer anything in a 12% THC, 12% CBD, high terpene profiles, but something that's not going to wreck my day because I can partake. I mean, so it's a tough question because I think you need to go online and look into some of these groups and find out what the consumer says about the breeders, and don't talk to the breeders because the breeders are all awesome and number one.
Yeah.
And nobody can grow anything like them, but talk to some guys and see. I know I've got a guy right now who's doing strictly Mosca seeds, and he's like about 75-80% of what I'm being told from the Mosca seed people or the website are on point, and 20% are like, where the heck did they get this information?
Yeah.
And before there's an attack on Mosca or the people, it's like, well, that 20% are the variables of that genetic drift that you're getting in seed form. So you can't really hang your hat on any one of these guys. You kind of got to go play the field. And honestly, if you find like a decent genetic, and you can kind of turn it into something a little bit greater just by learning how to grow that genetic. Yeah, it's a tough question because there's so many breeders out there and so many genetics out there. What works for me doesn't work for my employees, or what my employees like I can't stand because it's too strong. So it's really a personal choice.
Would you say that most genetics you get out there, I mean, obviously exceptions, will grow a healthy plant that will express itself in a way that then you can decide if you like it or not?
For the most part, other than the ones that are all being bred with this hemp-laden viroid in it, which is now very common. So if you get to the middle flower and you're getting all this discoloration, you want to blame the soil, you want to blame the nutrition. Often it's a viroid that you've gotten from piss-poor breeding practices because, it's like a dog breeder. You don't go out and get a Bernese Mountain Dog without a hip certification, a back certification.
Yeah.
These guys are just breeding and breeding, and they're doing it for the dollar of the seed, but not for the quality of the genetics or to preserve a genetic. It's how can I make more or the biggest. And the other huge thing with breeding is, anytime you take A and B and you're trying to get C, something from A and something from B disappear to make the C. So you're not strengthening genetics by crossing them over and over and over. You're actually weakening them in the big scheme of things to get what's desired for us to consume.
I gotcha.
So honestly, I like landrace. Anything with a landrace is you're going to find hardy, you're going to bulletproof, and have all the qualities you're looking for in terpenes, how it makes you feel, how it medicinally or recreationally. But with a landrace being the base, you're getting true strong genetics that are holding this to the foundation and let the frills kind of rise above it. All the frill weed now, that 36% THC with nothing else, that's great if all you're doing is cartridges and all you like is that heroin high.
Sure.
But if you're a functioning human being that actually has a career or a job, that lower, more designed landrace stuff is kind of where we're at.
Are those harder to grow?
No,
they're just kind of.
They grow on the side of a trail in Kathmandu. So
no, I mean the highly finesse genetics.
Harder to because it's a weed. It grows no matter what. What you'll see is it's harder to keep them happy and healthy.
I gotcha.
Where landrace just they have the vigor because they can be. Those little beta fish.
Yeah.
You know where they're from? Literally from puddles in Vietnam. Like, you know why they're so mean? It's because they live in a fucking puddle. So if like a frog falls in the puddle, this little fish is like, that's my space, bitch. And so they kill each other because they literally live in tiny little cups of sand. So when you see them at Fred Meyer at the pet store, you're like, why did these goldfish get the giant tank and these pissed off fish get these little things? Because that's where they live.
That's where they live. That's what they like. Yeah. Or at least what they've gotten used to.
So Canada is very similar.
Okay. Cam the Canaman. Canaman can.
Canaman can, because he makes it with cannabis and it makes it taste good.
Is he on there? No, Sammy in this picture, is there?
He's right there.
Oh, there he is, right behind me.
Yeah, racist. Got your back to Sammy.
I'm sorry.
Here, don't bring him out. There we go.
I got a Sammy joke he told once that I can't tell on the air that I thought was hilarious.
He was a funny man.
Yep. He
Cannonball Run, telling you, way better.
It was. Have you ever seen a Gumball Rally?
Oh yeah.
I
don't know.
Lip Chick, the Mad Hungarian, the guy in the motors.
Yeah, but they didn't have the two hot chicks and all that.
They did not have all that stuff. No, they did not.
Or the Asian guy that splits his pants doing the stereotypical karate scene.
Yeah. Is it Jackie Chan?
It was Jackie Chan.
Oh, jeez.
That was a great cast.
Hey, I have a question about using nectar for the gods with Microbe Life's new product, Terp Plus. Sorry. I was curious if it was okay to use both together in the feed and water. Should I use Microlife Terp
we just lost a friend
on separate days? Microbe Life, they make something called Terp Plus?
They have a product called Terp Plus.
Oh! They have a product called Terp Plus.
They have a product called Terp Plus. I don't know anything about it. I honestly can't. I've got the cut sheet that they send to you and all the consumers. I haven't gotten the actual, like, what it is, and I know they're not manufacturing it, so I know it's not a Microbe-Life microbial product. I'm pretty sure we're looking at just another Terpenator style, Terpenator Plus product.
I guess the Microbe-Life, they make that in a big giant vat there on site, and they've been making it forever, and it's a thing.
Oh no, all the Microbe-Life products are made by Microbe-Life until this one. I think they contracted out somebody in California, and a lot of people are chasing the terp game and need products that say terp. I still believe that just grow them healthy. Yeah, with lots of calcium will create and enhance your terpene profiles. I haven't used it. They're willing to send me samples of it. It's I've been told it's not 100% organic. It's I can't tell you anything about it because I don't know anybody in my immediate circles using it yet. It's brand new, so I can't say it's good or bad. But I don't know enough about it, so I can't hang any words on that.
Okay.
And was there anything else to that question?
No, that was just it. He did say, would you use the Terp Plus and the Microbe-Life on separate days?
I mean,
So,
I would use the Terp Plus on a separate day than your microbes. Yeah. Because I'm not sure exactly what that is or what's in it, and I would hate for you to invest in SLF, Microbe-Life, and any other microbial and have that be at all harm. And not that I'm saying it's harming.
Yeah, no,
I just don't know. So,
is this kind of approaching as some kind of flavoring thing as opposed to? I mean, when you see things that enhance terps, there's things that like just make the plant be better at being the plant, which makes it terpier, and then there's the idea of things that will flavor it.
Yeah, and that's where I know there's another product, that Terpenator, and we've had customers do side-by-sides without hardcore. We've brought complete followers over to this nectar line and end up finding there's no need for that Terpenator product because you're getting all the terpene enhancement. And, one guy actually went to a full study of maybe it makes more trichomes because they noticed the trichomes were longer on the Terpenator Plus or Terpenator, whatever the freaking Terpenator. The trichomes were super long, but then when he counted trichome head to trichome head, there was 25% of the trichomes, so they were long and hairy looking trichomes, but the nectar plants had 75% more trichomes. So they weren't long, but there was a ton more girthy, heads.
Like a tuna can.
Well, it was just coated. And so, he stopped using it. Like little thumbs, Vienna sausages. So I think a lot of people that stopped using the Terpenator, adding in more Aphrodites and Herculean or Circes. Yeah. They saw the same amount of terpene, or not even trichome heads, but trichomes don't equate to terpenes, even though some people kind of get those confused. So I don't know. I haven't had many customers go onto it and stay on it because they come back going, it kind of masked. And this is not this product, it's another one. But they were like, it didn't enhance what I've already had. It kind of dumbed down. It muted out the intense of, like, Triton's made it super gassy. When I added this, it kind of muted that down a bit. Made longer trichomes, less aroma. So that's one that I'm waiting to get the verdict out there. I know they're out there testing it with a lot of customers and a lot of people are trying it. So feedback is always, I would hate to miss the next boat of incredible things, but yeah.
Been so many boats we've missed, even when we were on them.
Well, thankfully we got off of a lot of boats before they sank. We've been on a lot of them.
Okay. Kurt had a question. It says maybe we can touch on this in a week or so. So I guess it's a complicated one, but I'm going to go through it. Is that what you want me to do here? How about a whole Friday show with Scott about nectar synthetics growing? Build off the video with Tim McCormick. What nectar products will flow through a drip system? Can they be fed on NPK days? With full-on cutting back NPK 50% and Scott Burke of Microbe-Life claiming that you can cut back an additional 30%. How far can nectar be pushed?
And if you use the cash, you're going to reduce it by another 25%. And if you use one more product, you won't have to use any more fertilizer ever.
Well, you know what you can do is you can have the Terpenator go back to the past and kill the father of the terpenes, and then
the terpenes. That's like the one terpene product that actually is not witchcraft.
Exactly.
And it's like, holy crap!
You got to destroy fried net. Okay, so let's just.
Well, it's tough because I don't like, with the way our industry is going to the cheapest common denominator of the cheapest synthetic products, and losing market share to cheap products, then to figure out a way to put lipstick on the pig when we're all done with it, it's still kind of pointing out the fact that we still have a ton of pigs with just a shade of pink on their faces. So it's a tough one for me to go down, and I do answer it all the time online because people, I get people have to jockey for position every once in a while.
Yeah.
So I think it warrants an episode at some point, but I'm trying to figure out a way to do it to make it look like it's not a promotion, because it's not in my belief system. It's not something I agree with in a big sense, but when we have a lot of customers that we bring over from that side, by teaching them how to use Aphrodites and Herculean as preventatives or curatives or aids in flavor or development. And, a lot of these, just shy of a siphon injecting it into line flow, these products are they will work in symbiose with these other nutritional blends, and they're bringing stuff to the table that those blends cannot bring, and that's always going to be soluble calcium. So even like a lot of guys will do 3 feeds in a row with their baseline synthetic nutrient line, and then on the 4th feeding come in with just Afro, Circes, Herc, all the calcium load, hammer them good so you get some runoff, but it's literally giving them that soluble, available form so the plants just kind of switch suit, take in all that calcium, and they go right back to an NPK feeding system on the next 3 to 4 days in a row.
If you're over here in the synthetic world and you're moving a nectar, can you leap that chasm in 2 bounds?
It's tough.
Is it easier just to switch over than to try and start integrating some of the one or the other?
Mentally, yes, it's almost impossible because once you're hooked onto something, it'd be like taking a nectar guy and going, "Hey, run deep water culture from here on out." Yeah. It's going to be there'll be resistance. You got to show them, you got to prove to them that they're not going to lose their ass by switching over all in one.
Sure.
I don't like the big switch over all in one.
Yeah.
I like to kind of show them that when you do these flushes or you do these couple of treatments, see the difference in that plant, see the health. Then it might trigger them to want to do 1 or 2 plants by themselves. Now the hard part is, usually those guys have their own clone stock, their own mother.
Sure.
So now you've got a 5th generation synthetically grown mother who now you're taking their children off and going, you're going to be athletes and you're staying on fast food. So now we've got to take the athletes and retrain them and rebuild them because they are the product of their mothers, which means they've had 4 years of genetic.
It's like,
rounds of genetic.
Some people on Earth can drink milk and some can't.
Yeah, right. Well, that's it. These guys don't want calcium phosphate because they're used to calcium nitrate.
Yeah.
So that big difference will take at least 1 run to get those plants to acclimate over to more of a natural feeding. The second run, you'll see noticeable differences in yield results as far as quality, aroma, jar appeal. And by the 3rd round, you should have these plants completely different than these plants, even though they're run off the same everything, except for the nutrition. But it takes 2 to 3 runs before, I don't like the guys, I no offense, but if you email me, and I'm now going to give you a tip here. When you email me for a sample kit and you're running 4 other samples, I'm deleting your email because you don't want to try my nutrient line. You're doing 5 in a row, so you're not going to learn any of us.
Yeah.
So we're all going to fail. You're going to choose the one was the simplest.
Yeah.
And I have no interest in joining a competition between which one of these is the simplest.
Yeah.
GH, the simplest. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1, 2, 2, 3. That's it. That's your whole feeding schedule from start to finish. Couldn't be simpler. Yeah. We'll grow the same plant every time.
Yep.
So I don't want to compete in that realm. If you want to learn, read, research, join a community of growers, learn about what this plant does for them and how they've made it work, I want those customers, and that's who we're reaching out to. But I will never. I delete your questionnaires right out of the gate. I don't even respond to them because it's not worth the argument.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing you're going to tell me if you're running 4 nutrient lines and you want me to be the 5th one in. Yep. I don't want to be your 5th one. Yep. Not interested.
So when we're talking about synthetics, are we talking about using synthetic nutrients in soil?
Oh yeah.
This is what they're hydroponic. Totally different.
Oh yeah, no, this is straight. I'm running cocoa fiber or number 4 soil with 3-part nutrition, NP and K. It's like, that's great, and we can sneak you through, and we can make a rose. I mean, we can make it smell like a rose, but taste like hay. Yeah. There's ways to kind of get you to understand what the line does without sacrificing your line. But once these guys start peeling away their line and replacing it with additives from our line, they just see the difference of uptake, vigor, the way the plant just responds to every single feeding. And the other really hard part is when you're running NPK lines, you're at 5.7 to 6.2 all the way through, and now you're trying to introduce my stuff at 6.3 to 6.6, so it's not compatible.
Yeah.
You're taking a 5.7 root zone and going, hey, eat this 6.6. And they're like,
I don't think so.
Okay, we did. And then the rest goes away, and you're just wasting money. So it's a really hard challenge.
The peas under the plate.
Yeah. So that part's hard. Okay. I'm just trying to figure out how to get them to... And the best way to do it is just flush with bone meal once a week with Aphrodites, and if you see a difference, then maybe try a couple plants just on their own this way. If not, stick with your synthetics. I mean, bad words, bad comment, and some bad comments.
We'll think about it and see what we can do. Put something together.
Yeah, we'll come up with a week. Yeah, work on an episode there. I just want to make sure it's very clear what the intention is. So it's not a promotion, because it's not, again, it's lipstick on a pig at the end of the day, and we'd rather you just grow hot chicks than pigs. Or hot men. Or hot...
however you want to play it.
Things.
Okay. That's the show for right now.
Yeah, we destroyed the end. We destroyed the middle. It's pretty much, if we have viewers still to this point, I'm going to throw in a free gallon of Searseas. You're going to edit that out too, wouldn't you? And now you can.
I don't know, because I just for everyone, like 1 gallon of Searseas.
1 gallon of Searseas for the first person to answer what your burp smelled like.
Okay. All right. That's the show. Thanks for stopping by.
Sorry.
It's the OCG Fam Show.